Hello everyone, I hope everyone's doing well today. In today's video, we are going to be discussing um, the 15th or Saturday across the Ohio Valley. I'm gonna be focusing more on the Ohio Valley region of the setup. Of course, down south we have we're gonna have a better warm sector. We're gonna have just better ingredients in general. Less kind of I guess less wrenches thrown at the setup compared to up north, but down south we'll see um, a widespread severe weather event more than likely, including strong tornadoes and damaging winds and hail. So I just want to this is from the National Weather Service. This is our day 4 to 8 severe weather outlook. This is day 4. This is Friday. This is going to be a multi-day severe weather event. Friday, Chicago, all the way up into southeastern Minnesota, all the way down to Louisiana, um, in northeast Texas, with a 30% in the mid South, Memphis up north, to even possibly approaching Springfield, Illinois, St. Louis, even Little Rock looks like to be under the gun in the 30%. So strong tornadoes possible, damaging winds possible. Friday might have one sort of issue, moisture return. How much moisture will be drawn up north, especially into the Iowa, Illinois, um, northern Illinois regions. How much moisture will um, be able to return, but will it even matter because this is such a strong and robust system that kinematically places up here may not need a lot of moisture for severe weather. So something to look out for. Definitely less confidence up north, but clearly more confidence in the south and mid parts of this risk. And then day 6, Sunday, we can see this severe weather threat move on the East Coast, impacting um, the coastal regions, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Midland as well. So I'll have to be making a separate video for that in the next day or two. Um, but just be weather aware on the East Coast Sunday. Okay, so I am going to be showing you ensemble models and what is an ensemble model. So this that you see now is called the GEFS. This is the ensemble model for the GFS model for this model. The GFS and the Euro models are operational models. There's only one run, one data run they use. So one data set, one data run they use to generate what we see here on the map. What an ensemble model is, it takes that GFS run, but uses dozens of different and there might be an exact number of how many models they use. I don't know off the top of my head, but they use lots of different um, data sets. They'll change the data in the current data set by certain degrees or decimal points, and it'll spit out a solution. So essentially, what it is, it's around 50 GFS model runs. Let's just say there's around 50 of them. There's like 50 of them that will be projected and then averaged out into this model. So this is just an averaged model that takes different runs from the GFS and just averages them out. And this is the same thing with the Euro. It's the EPS, and this uses the Euro model, takes a ton of different runs, uses tons of different just data, and it will average out the runs. So let's look at the GEFS, and I want to point out a few things here. So this is Wednesday after uh what there. Okay. This is Wednesday afternoon, and there's one thing um that's important for Wednesday that we'll need to watch, especially for Friday. This isn't much for Saturday's event. I'm just going to briefly mention this for Friday's. The shortwave right here, it's going to track, northern Texas. It's going to move east, but as this shortwave moves, it's going to just naturally, it's going to be drawing moisture northward up into, the low pressure right in here in northern Texas. Well, here comes this is our main event right here. This is what we're going to be looking at mostly, but we can see there's not a whole lot of time. So as the moisture gets drawn up, it's going to get kicked back down after um, the slow pressure here. As it moves off east, um, that moisture that was being drawn in is kicked back out. And there's not really a whole lot of time for moisture to be drawn back in before this, you know, really strong trough comes in. So I don't really think that's going to be an issue too much Friday. Um, but something to maybe look at. So this is Friday. This is Friday night. So as that event Friday is going on, we can see the extreme diffluence here. We can see winds going straight northward in western Illinois, eastern Iowa, and then if we go to Arkansas, they're going east northeast, and then we go. They're about the same in Louisiana, but it's an east northeast to a north turn in the winds. So we're gonna have there's gonna be a lot of lift in the air in the in the highlighted areas here. There's gonna be lots of lift in the air. So that is definitely evident, and that's been very evident for several days now. So it's Friday. This is Friday night, and as we move on, this is Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. And we can see sorry, we can really see this massive trough setting up, and we can see our close low up here. And also, just to mention, this is negatively tilted, oriented southeast or northwest. This is what you want in severe weather events. You want negatively oriented troughs like this. This brings more moisture into the system, and also it can affect the tilt um, as we go up in our atmosphere, and we can kind of see that as um, it can affect the tilt and the lift, and we can kind of see that with the diffluence shown with the wind speeds differing directions when it's exiting out of this trough. But as we move on, this is Saturday afternoon, we can see by Saturday evening, the Ohio Valley, the area I'll be focusing back, the bulk of those winds, approaching 80, 85 knots, will be moving eastward into our area. Um, I think, I think a damaging one event here is going to be most likely. We're still several days away. Details need to be ironed out, definitely. Just from the models of the last few days and today, Ohio Valley more likely maybe a linear event. Um, Maybe possibly some more discrete stuff if of course, if that data comes in the next few days and supports that idea. It's certainly even possible now. It's just too far out to really tell. But really, The main thing this far out is that we have a lot of shear in place. We have a lot of lift and a lot of moisture being brought into the Ohio Valley Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. So that is a green check mark for that, and that has been a very strong indicator um, the last several days. And as we move on, um, Sunday, we see that bulk of wind moves on the East Coast. Um, more again, uh, up north, maybe more damaging wind threat. Down south, maybe more supercell threat. Don't know the details just yet. Just know that this is a very impressive jet streak, a very impressive look, and supports severe weather for sure. All right, let's look at the. Try to find it. Sorry, let's look at the European. Let's just compare real quick. Um, let's see. All right. Okay, so we have that shortwave in Texas. It's a little bit more north, um, but same idea. It's going to bring that moisture in. It's going to get kicked out, and some of it will be brought in. How far north it will go, who knows just now. But we can see this deepening low pressure. Very similar. This is Saturday 12Z. So we can see our close low, right on the Iowa border on the GFS, and the euro is about in the same area, maybe slightly slower, slightly more west. These ensemble models on the euro. That's also typical. The GFS is this far out is usually more aggressive, more fast pace with these storms, and it usually often tends to slow down with the euro. Um, but the euro definitely is further, little further west on the ensemble model here. And as we go into the day Saturday, not as strong, definitely not as strong as the GFS. With the winds coming in, maybe definitely more slow paced. So it would be a night event for the Ohio Valley, more than likely. Definitely evening through late night, and then we can see the winds 70, 80 knots. So that wind energy does end up moving, um, does end up holding its strength as it moves northeast on the Euro model here, but definitely impressive. 85 knots. By Sunday morning, I guess most of the event would be done by now, but by then, but um, still impressive upper air winds. I do want to look at the dew points. So we can see our little shortwave in Texas. Just kind of pay attention to this area. We can see that shortwave bringing that moisture I was talking about. 60s reaching the Texas Arkansas border possibly. 60-degree dew points. Um, but as that moves out, some of that moisture gets kicked. Some of that dry air gets kicked in, especially in Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Texas, and how much of that dry air gets kicked in, we don't know. But we can see the moisture. This is Saturday morning here, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and by Saturday night when most of the severe weather would be happening in the Ohio Valley, we have mid to upper 50 dew points. You really want the 60s or higher Um, but upper 50s, especially in strong kinematic events, mid to upper 50s, definitely can suffice. And then Sunday, as we move on through the day, we can see mid 60s, reaching all the way up into Virginia, possibly. That warm sector is pretty impressive Sunday. And um, Sunday might be interesting. It very well could be. Definitely very far out. Um, Sunday definitely has my attention as well. So let's compare the GFS and the Euro model. I'm just gonna show you what the kind of what the quote unquote what the radar may look like, but I'm just gonna show you what the GFS is kind of just showing. So we have our very impressive, very strong, a 975 millibar low in Nebraska, Kansas by Friday afternoon, late afternoon. We can see storms we can see some, kind of spots of rain, but we can assume these would be storms kind of firing Iowa, Missouri, northern Missouri. And then as that moves northeast, that line of arcing supercells more than likely turning into maybe a possibly linear event, especially up north. Um, you can see that extend southward toward Mississippi, Arkansas. Severe threat probably would go into Indiana, Michigan overnight, Friday night. This low pressure will be drifting off northeast, and we can see Saturday's event by Saturday afternoon. Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi into Alabama. We can see some clustering of maybe supercells or maybe more of a linear event. We don't know yet. But as this into goes into Saturday night, early Sunday morning, we can see a line of storms. Um, Pennsylvania, definitely not as impressive. Northern Ohio Valley, Kentucky, West Virginia, down south, maybe more confidence in of that line of storms holding strength. And then Sunday afternoon, we can see possibly even severe weather into Canada, possible north of New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and southward all the way down to Florida. I'd say all hazards are probably possible all 3 days: tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds. With such a strong um, such a strong trough being injected in, and just with it turning into spring, we're getting more moisture in it. It's just a lot of ingredients are adding up for a multi-day severe weather outbreak, whether it just be damaging winds, hail, or possibly even tornadoes. Um, some sort of widespread severe weather event is going to happen this weekend. Let me look at. Uh, want to look at the euro. Now this is the operational model euro. I want to look at the dew points on this one here. Okay, so that's our main. Okay, this is Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. Yeah, definitely some good moisture um, on the western side of the Ohio Valley for sure. Um, doesn't look like, with this model, it doesn't really look like a lot of that moist air gets pushed north or even expands. But into Sunday, we can see, yeah, the euro is pretty aggressive with these dew points, even some mid 60s reaching Maryland with this model run. Um, Taking it with a grain of salt, this is obviously going to change. Um, Let me show what the euro radar uh, output would look like. This is from yesterday evening, so this is a little older. But we can see our deepening low. It's definitely further west compared to the GFS. We can see our arcing line of supercells turning into a linear event. We can see even supercells characteristics being shown Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, Arkansas. And as that moves northward, we see the widespread event. It's interesting with the euro here. By Saturday morning, there could be a initial round of maybe just rain or even possibly a severe thunderstorm or two in the Ohio Valley Saturday morning. And as that clears out by Saturday afternoon, maybe the sun will be able to come out, stabilize the air. And then by Saturday evening into Sunday night, we can see that kind of that energy and that precipitation being lifted off. So definitely a severe threat again, um, late Saturday night, possibly. So this is just another a severe weather output that we kind of just use to look at, just an idea of just where severe weather could be taking place. So, anyways, so this here we can see this is just a different output we have, and we can see the highlighted area of potential severe weather Saturday in the red, in the yellows, in the purples. The black hatch means significant severe weather could be possible. And then this output has significant severe weather possible all the way up into the Ohio Valley. Um, so this is just something to watch. This isn't, set in stone or anything. But this does look very interesting. This does catch my eye, and I'm gonna keep an eye on this very closely. I don't think I think is definitely more bullish here. I don't think we're gonna have a crazy, like significant severe weather event in Ohio Valley compared to the possibility in the deep south, but definitely a widespread event is likely. I will definitely have another video closer to this event, probably Friday morning or Thursday morning, either one of those days. So keep an eye out. This is definitely has potential to be a significant event across the plains, Midwest, really the Midwest, not really the plains, but the parts of the plains, but the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. So keep an eye out, be weather aware, and I will talk to you guys later.